Man, when I wake up in the morning, I want to hit a golf ball. I almost got hit by lightning and watched an alligator attack.
Tell us about your coaching and golf social media journey.
Everybody is on the doorstep of a breakthrough.
If you're watching or listening to this as a golfer of any level, from recreational to professional, if you're watching this as a golf content creator, whether hopeful or successful, or if you're watching this as a golf coach, either online or in person at any stage, I'm very happy to introduce David Buck of Big Swing Kings. That's www.bigswingkings.com. And thankfully, at Big Swing Kings on the rest of the platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Super helpful for all of us. David, welcome to the pod.
Amazing, man. Mark, thank you. And I effing love golf.
You can swear on this show. You can say it.
I fucking love golf. That's all I want to do. I got other responsibilities in life. You got to make sure you pay the bills and take care of your family and spend time with your kids and your wife and doing other stuff. But man, when I wake up in the morning, I want to hit a golf ball.
You were a former professional golfer. Which tours in the US were you playing on?
Everything short of the PGA is basically what I would say.
And they're known now by different names than they were how many years ago?
Back in the day, it was buy.com. It was Pepsi Tours, Canadian Tour. It was Tight Lies Tour, Moonlight Tour, Teardrop Tour, the New England Pro Tour, the Iowa Summer Series, anything and everything that I could get in.
When you were playing on those tours, what was the closest that you felt like it could be a reality?
To give you a little bit of math, mini tours, smaller events, payouts, the top 30% get paid. Okay, so the top 30% get a check. The top 20% have their bills paid for that week. The top 10% make money. And I was finishing consistently between the 20 and 30% mark. And essentially it works like this. If at any point in there you make a big mistake, you just don't get paid. And so that patience and grind, it's not like you can get better during those times. You're just trying to figure out how to play well in this course today in this place. And so if I was to do it all over again, I would have built in a period of, let's call it 2 months, to go and stay in one spot to work on the things that I was weak on. So to improve, because in 2 months, you can do a lot if that's all you're working on. But if you're mixing in tournament play in there, you have to be ready for this. You can't make changes. You can't make adjustments. It becomes just kind of a very stressful repetition, and you don't realize how stressful it is until you finish. And one of the things that I found so interesting, people say, is it that must be a stressful lifestyle. And what's interesting is it's not. It's absolutely not, but only because it's continual stress. So there's no vision of no stress. And so life is just stressful and you don't notice it. And so it just becomes one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And you never stop. Then there's a very good chance that I was too immature at the time to be able to handle that. And that's probably the thing that broke it for me. At 19 to 22 years old, I just didn't have the maturity to be able to see those things.
What advice would you give yourself or someone like you when you were starting out that would have made a huge difference for you if you could have known at the time?
It's number one, control of your emotions. That's the ability to keep thinking when pressure is heavy, when any kind of emotion is heavy, and the ability to just stay even, no matter the scenario, is the most valuable and probably under-practiced skill in golf. Being able to get through an event hitting only to your strengths is the second most important thing, because when you get to that level, you have the ability, and the really hard part is recognizing where your strengths are and having the emotional stability to choose that instead of going at the pin that it could lead to a bogey if you miss.
Off the course, what are those mental mindsets, that mental framework a pro golfer should have if they're going to make it, balancing this life, this constant stress that you talk about?
I'm going to paraphrase a conversation with somebody that I had that made it, because he answered that exact same question that I asked to him. Tim Simpson was a former top 10 player on tour in the 90s. But I came across him just as he was prepping for the senior tour, and we were playing a practice round. And I said, basically, like, what was the thing for you that helped you to really break through? And he said, when I first got on tour, I did everything. I took that same kind of young guy, trying to make it mentality of doing everything that I could, playing all the pro-ams, playing the extra practice rounds. And I filled my calendar so full that when I would make the cut and then I would play on Saturday, he said it was about Saturday or the 13th, 14th hole where things would start to dip. And by Sunday, I just didn't finish well. And I didn't finish well because I was so tired from all the things that I chose to do early in the week that I had nothing left in the tank for Sunday. So he said, I said to my agent, you need to clear my calendars completely on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I stopped playing the pro-ams and I stopped being available and I stopped doing the clinics, which of course people didn't like. He said, but I chose to prioritize my Saturday and Sunday. And that's when I broke through. This is one thing I did not do well at the time, which I did not have the emotional maturity for. And that was to prioritize myself, because my characteristic, my beliefs in life, my core beliefs is others focused. I care for others more than I care for myself. So to then say, no, this needs to be me, wasn't something that I was ready to say. When I need to, I can say that now, but back then I didn't.
So your professional journey did not end with a tour card on the PGA Tour, and that will be the reality for the majority of the golfers that start. How do you cope with life after golf?
The answer is gratitude. If you have no expectations in life, and I'm going to use that word liberally, okay? Expectation being, this is going to happen. That can be in relationship, business, life, golf, anything. If you expect something, this is my little soapbox here on this particular topic, but if you expect something, there's no benefit from it. If you get it, good, well, I expected it. If you fall short, it's like, wow, this is crap. However, if you have nothing but gratitude, I'm thankful that I have this opportunity. I am thankful that I have this wife. I'm thankful that I have these children, this home, this job. And I am looking forward to what happens next. Then everything becomes a positive. Okay. So if I expect everything and get nothing, it's all a negative. If I expect nothing and get anything, now everything is a positive. So how that looked moving forward out of a career that I adored, loved, that was what I wanted. And then moving on from that, it's a matter of choosing to be grateful for the opportunity that I have today. And I mean, long story short, life has brought me back around to golf, and I'm really happy about that.
All right. Now, freedom and a business is something that you are pursuing now. Tell us about your current journey. It is a coaching and golf social media journey that I think a lot of us are trying to also find a way into. How did this begin? Because it didn't start immediately after your playing career was over. There was an odyssey to get here, right?
Well, after my playing career, when I gave up golf, I gave it up. I was done. I was not going to end up in a pro shop. And my wife and I actually found a wonderful vocation. We became wedding photographers and commercial photographers. And we're really good right up until COVID. And COVID shut it all down. And so we started looking for a life, I want to say online, similar to what you were talking about, Mark, about, finding a path away from the 9 to 5 that you had been doing. And for us, it was a location freedom thing. And so we started a number of different online things, and they weren't very successful. But what we did learn in there was how to navigate the online world as far as content creation. See, we already had skills from photo and video, so we could make things look good. And then, it's storytelling. And it culminated about a year and a half ago when we threw all the spaghetti at the wall. And one of the spaghettis that we threw at the wall was diving back into the golfing world. I started putting some of that stuff out online, and it was really well received. So much so that people started randomly just sending me their swings and being like, hey, can you critique this? And so the first one that really went well for us, I critiqued a guy who had a very big slice, newer golfer, a very common problem. And so I said, dude, you're doing the bad loop. You got to do the good loop. Here it is. And it was a short little video and it went to like 500,000 views and got a whole bunch of people in. And I was at that, in that little spurt, I was getting like 15 to 20 people sending me their swing every day. So I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta make some kind of a product for this. But in order to succeed in the online world, you have to have an audience. In order to have an audience, you have to have something that's different and is kind of uniquely you in that. I'm a very vocal, flamboyant, energetic, positive.
You think so, David?
I do think so, Mark. I love life and I love golf and I love seeing people succeed at things. And succeed doesn't necessarily mean break par. For some people, succeed means I want to stop shanking it. And so we started creating some products and feeling through what people want. And then all of a sudden, a bank account balance is rising and we're getting affiliate deals with people to promote other products. Then there's some online monetization stuff between YouTube and TikTok and that kind of stuff. And there's about 6 or 7 different revenue streams when you start succeeding online, where people start reaching out to you and sending you products and asking you to review them and having financial benefit from them because you have an audience. But it all comes down to that, having something to share that you'd actually want to watch.
Okay, so distill this journey then in just a few key lessons, right? Someone who is a golf professional, right? They're beholden to a specific club. Maybe they're in a part of the world that they don't really want to live in. They want to move to Northern Ontario like yourself or whatever their equivalent is. What do they need to know? What do they need to be prepared for? What are the skills that they need in order to take this life and make it online?
Number one, nobody will listen to anything if there's not good sound. And it's a simple fix. You just buy a DJI mic and you clip it to your hat or to your shirt and plug it right into your phone. And magically you've got great sound. Okay.
Yep.
Number two, lighting. You gotta understand how to shoot things in a way that look good. You get CapCut, which is free until you buy the pro version. And you just start putting stuff together in a way that makes you interested. If you're interested by it, there's going to be somebody else interested by it. So that really takes care of the video and technical stuff. Keep it simple. Then you need to hit a pain point of some kind in somebody. Okay. When I shank the ball, that's a pain point. And if I tell you that I could, look right here, I'm going to show you how you can fix this so it never happens again. Oh, well, of course I'm going to watch. Let's talk about affiliate stuff and other companies a bit, because I've had that question before as to how you get these partnerships figured out. I chase them and I chase the ones that fit for me. So for Avoda Golf produces same length irons and combo length irons and are rethinking how you can use your irons as tools in your bag to be more consistent. I loved their concept. I reached out to them. I bought a set of irons. I tested them out. I got them a whole bunch of sales and millions of views on their products before anything solid, shall we say. I kept poking, I kept emailing, and then I saw that they were going to be down in the PGA show in Orlando. So I said, hey, can I come join you? And through that, we've developed now a relationship that is very good, that is very profitable, that I have affiliate sales on any video links that go through to my link. And so I've produced quite a number of videos explaining and comparing, contrasting clubs. And I succeed by them succeeding. And that's where the win-win is. There are 6 different companies that I'm working with right now, all of whom I have reached out to personally and said, look, do we have an affiliate program? How do we do this? How can we work together?
The nugget in there is that these aren't all going to come to you. Yes, if you are a superstar and you build a huge following, you're going to get marketing opportunities. But the reality is that you do have to pursue it as a business. Your content itself, what you make online, is going to get you so far. But you've got to hustle on the side rather than just making the product. You've got to find your partners as well. There's the 2 very different aspects of monetizing here.
Yes. But I look at the numbers that I have now as a recording of this through our channels. We've got about 50,000 people that are following. And I look at our numbers coming in money wise, and it's like, sheesh, if we make that 500,000 and the numbers track, It's looking awfully good.
Yep. So let's shift focus now to coaching. Now, how did you become a successful coach? This is not easy for everybody, right? So there's a skill to coaching and it has nothing to do with your ability as a golfer.
Number one is communication. Number two is the 5-minute lesson. And number three is the best seminar I ever went to. I have a very successful way of communicating complicated things to people. So Raj asked for a little bit of help on his golf swing. All right, Raj, there are two loops. There's a good loop and a bad loop. Right now you're doing the bad loop. We got to get you doing the good loop. The bad loop is this way. Hey, you do not want to go this way. That's coming here and looping over the top this way. Okay, you're going to loop somewhere. You got to loop one way or the other. The correct loop is that way. And I am exaggerating big time. The way I put it is you take the cookies and you put them down on the bottom shelf so the kids can get them, right? It's an ability that I've had in all of life. It's just being applied to golf now. Number two is the 5-minute lesson. Tim Simpson, the same guy that I was talking about earlier, while I was playing quite poorly during that practice round, and he muttered rather strongly, "Oh, you stupid guys make the same fucking mistakes." And he said, "Well, meet me on the range tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. and I'll show you." Oh, okay. And he put a stick in the ground and he said, "I want you to take the club away where the club comes up over this stick. Then on the way down, I want the club to come inside this stick." He says, "You're going to feel like you're swinging way out to the right and you're going to hit a snap hook, but do it anyways." Okay. And I did it. And I striped it. I shot 27 under in that tournament that week, which told me that golf's really not complicated. If you can feel and understand what it is you're trying to do, your brain can actually get you there. Everybody is on the doorstep of a breakthrough. And if you can trust the person giving you the advice and they give you the one thing that is going to help you on that next breakthrough, then you just listen and you go do that thing. Most of the teaching that I do starts in the living room. It starts with a ping pong ball or a wiffle ball and a little chip shot with a 7-iron. That's where
what does that tell you?
That tells you where your club face is at impact, which is the only part of the swing that actually matters. Our bodies will get us there if we understand where we need to get to. Most of us have never even thought about the impact point. They're too busy thinking about your right elbow, whether it should be flying or not.
So what are coaches doing wrong then in the way that they teach that is different from what you're saying?
I'm gonna caveat this by saying there are a plethora of great, successful, popular coaches who are doing a great job. Unfortunately, the schooling that teaches coaches is very mechanically based. Mechanically based coaching can help the top of golfers, but it's not what most golfers need. And as you spend more time on mechanics, especially at the mid to higher handicap levels, the more confusion there is. And sadly, that's what I see on the course and that come into my inbox is just, they're in a space of confusion.
What is the best seminar that you've ever attended and what light bulbs went on for you?
Just like ping pong, just like tennis, it is a flat surface round ball game. You have a flat surface on the end of a stick and it has to hit a round ball, and all the principles that are involved in tennis per se are the same with golf. So he said, when I start teaching somebody new, I get a T-ball stand, a beach ball, and a tennis racket. And I say, hit the ball that way. And they hit it that way. And then I say, hit the ball that way, but spin it from left to right. And they do that. He said, then we graduate to a smaller ball and a different kind of paddle. And then we get down to the golf club. And that's, he had such a beautiful way of explaining it, where the question I get the most is, why do I slice the ball? Because the ball is spinning from left to right. That's the answer to your question. But you don't want to think that. You want to think it's because my arm is in the wrong position or my body weight is wrong.
What is the way that you would fix that slice differently in your way?
So you take your club back a foot and go through a foot, basically. We'll call it 6 yards, 7-iron. If you can't hit that one straight, well, don't start adding speed to it because you haven't even figured out where you're supposed to be at the bottom yet. Let's figure out where you need to be there and then work backwards to add speed. And the right few drills in there, as you add speed into your swing, all of a sudden your body is turning in a simple way that results in a great impact position, which is the only thing that matters.
So, David, you found this niche where you can coach golf completely remotely from the place in the world that you love the most. For someone who does not know you, cannot meet you in person, how do you get them to trust you and make them want to give you money to do this?
We started this thing that we call results-based coaching. And so in our one-on-one coaching, I found that people would come in with one specific issue to start with. Let's call it the shanks. And then we'd fix the shanks and it'd be like, okay, well, what next? So what we did is we started creating programs that is a pre-prescribed video course, swing analysis course, and one-on-one coaching all bundled together in the right timing. And it's based on when you're able to accomplish the different checkpoints. And it's very specific programs like 2-putt from inside 60 feet. If you want more compression, fantastic. I got a program for that. And then if we don't succeed, I give you your money back. And so instead of paying me, you're just buying the result that you want.
I've never thought of that. That's brilliant. So, David, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think is valuable for different types of our listeners? One is the recreational golfer. 2 is the pro or aspiring pro. And 3 is the coach out there.
Yes. And I got one that's going to hit all 3 of those. And sadly, I see too much of the other side of this one. And that is anytime you are at a golf course, on a golf course, tournament play, casual play, on a driving range, you are in one of the best places on earth. So get a hold of your gosh darned emotions and choose to be grateful for the opportunity that you have to be out there, and then go hit your next shot.
Great advice. Where can people find you?
Fortunately, I've made it as simple as I possibly can. Go to BigSwingKings anywhere.
Thank you for watching the FLG Golf Podcast. Subscribe to keep learning from, laughing with, and being inspired by others who are on a journey and have found lives in golf. If you've got an idea for a show, or if you want to be a guest, hit me up. And don't forget, you can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. For a playlist of best of highlight reels from all our full episodes, click right here. For more clips from the show, click right here. Thanks again for watching, and fucking love golf.